everyone, it's Kathy and you're back here at my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I thought today I was playing around. I'm going to do a craft fair, and I've been making some little things like this. These are great sellers at a craft fair. And the reason these are such great sellers is they make great gifts for your postman, your UPS man, your beautician, your children's school teacher, your Sunday school teacher, just so many people that you could come in contact with. Maybe it's someone at your doctor's office, one of the receptionists or the nurse or somebody. Everyone would love to get one of these. They're easy to make, and I'm going to show you just how simple it is. You're going to need to start out with a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and this is our 12 by 12 basic white, and I'm going to put it into our Simply scoreboard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score this at 3/4 of an inch. And then you're going to come over to 6 7/8. I think that's right. Yes, 6 7/8. I'm sorry, 5 7/8. 5 7/8. And then 6 1/8. That's going to give you that little 1/4 inch spine that we need. And then you can either come over here and score at 11 1/4 to get that 3/4, or if it's easier for you, turn it and do it one more time here at 3/4 of an inch. Whatever works the easiest for you. Then you're going to turn it a 1/2 turn, making sure you always want to make sure that you're all the way up into the corner of your scoreboard, and then we're just going to score at 4. You are going to be so surprised at how quick these come together. So I'm going to go ahead and move that scoreboard out of our way because we won't need that anymore. We've got our piece completely done. And I like to turn mine over because where the raised up area is, you see the raised area, I like to fold into that mountain. So I'm going to fold on that 4-inch line first. And when you're folding, just make sure that everything is lining up side to side. I'm going to use my bone folder and give that a good crease. And then I'm going to turn it to the side, and I'm going to fold these over. Again, give everything a good burnish as you go. That just makes everything come together a little better. Then I'm going to turn it to this side and do the same thing. A nice crease. Just like that. Then we're going to do those middle pieces. This is the one that can be a little tricky, but it's not. Just do the first one first. Turn it over and then fold it up and do that next one. And if it helps you any, you can always take a ruler and hold against it, and that will help you find that fold a lot easier than trying to do it, just by pressing. So there's your 2 folds there, and when I bring that up, you're going to see what I'm talking about. That gives us our little 1/4 inch gusset for our piece to live in. Now we're going to do a little fancy footwork. We're going to trim out. We're going to trim this piece completely out, and I like to mark them out so that you can understand what we're taking out. This entire piece here, we're going to take this entire middle section out, and we're going to take this out. And when you cut these out, you want to make sure you're cutting to the outside of the score line. So if the score line is here, you're going to cut to the right of it. If it's here, you're going to cut to the left of it. So I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to use that score line for my scissor blade to run next to. And I'm going to go all the way up to there, and then I'm going to cut this, and make sure you cut that score line away there too, and just let that drop. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do the same thing. This time I'm going to the left of that score line, because what you want to do is make sure you're cutting that score line completely away. We're probably still going to have to trim out a little bit more there, but at least we're getting the score line out of our way just for starters. Then we're going to go up here and do the same thing, come in right there and cut that out. Now this can be a little bit trickier, but you're going to do the same thing. You're going to cut to the right and to the left of the score line. And try to cut as straight as you possibly can, all the way up to that next score line. And then we're going to do the same thing here, all the way up to that score line. And what you want to do is lift those pieces to make sure you've gotten all the way in. And if you haven't, take a pair of snips and just snip that down, just like that. And push that up, and that piece should lay flat if you've got it out completely. Now let's just turn it over, and we're going to come up as close to there as we can and just snip that out, just like that. So now we've pretty much got our piece, but you see when you push this over how that's going to cause that to pucker. We don't want the puckering, so we're going to go back in and we're going to trim this out just a little bit more. I always like to trim it first and then test it, and then go back. If I need to take a little bit more off, I can. Now watch, when you do this, you're not having any puckering. Before you finish with this, you want to go ahead and cut an angle at this too. We want to make a V, so we're going to go, I'll tell you what, let's do it this way. Let's mark it this way. You know you're getting the right amount on both sides. Let's mark it at 1/4 of an inch. I don't know, let's do 1/2 inch. I think 1/2 inch would be better and easier for everyone. So let's mark this right here at 1/2 inch. That's a half right there. That's going to give you from here to that point that you're going to need to cut. And if you're not good at cutting angles, I say draw yourself a line. Now you have a line to kind of guide you. So you can very easily just make sure you're cutting on the back side of the line, so you're cutting the line away just like that, all the way up to the top. Now that's done. So we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to measure it. Measuring it just helps you get a better idea that you're getting exactly the right amount. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to come out to here, make my little mark. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go into there and angle it down to here. Just like that. And then we are going to cut again to the left side of the line this time, because you're on the opposite side, and just cut that piece completely away, just like that. So when you finish, you should have this V just like that. It looks like a V when it comes up. Now both sides have been cut on the this one didn't need to be cut on the side. See how that one actually fits and works? So now all we got to do is glue it, and then we're going to decorate. So it's such a simple, easy project, and you can turn these out 3 or 4 a day. I'm sorry, I misspoke. We do have one more cut. Right here, when you glue this down, you want to be able to get into this pocket. So what we're going to do, you can mark it if you like. I'm not going to mark it. If you want to, just bring your ruler right up next to this. Let it butt up against that top of that pocket, and draw yourself a line right here like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut on that line all the way to that score line. Then you're going to come up and just angle cut this out. Very simple little cut, just like that. And what that's going to allow you to do is for your pocket to go shut and still have your pocket that will lift here, so you have room, but still have a finished edge here. Now I like to also angle these off just a slightly, just a tiny little bit, just to make everything look uniformed and flush. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this one. We'll put our ruler down on it. And I'm using that edge that's leaning down so I can draw my line. Oops. Make sure your ruler doesn't move because you don't want that to mess up. And then we're just going to turn this right here and cut to the score line. And my paper snips works much better for this. Then I'm going to angle that out just like that. Now we're ready for the glue. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on my piece right here. I think I'm going to angle this bottom too. It just makes everything fit together much better when you have your angles cut. I think it makes it look nicer. It goes together much easier. I think it just works 100% better. All right, so now we're going to put glue on this piece right here. Just like that, and then we're just going to press that down. Give it a good press. Let that glue set up. We're going to do the same thing on this side, or this piece, the top. I got a little bit of glue on my mat, no big deal. Alright, now we're going to turn it over and we're going to do the same thing over on this side. We're just going to put a little bit of glue. Fold that over. I might have been a little zealous on my glue right there. Nope, that worked out good. I didn't have any oozing, so that's a good sign. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some here as well. And then we are going to close that up. Just like that. And let me grab one of these so I can show you how it goes in. What's nice about these is the person can use up their legal pad and fill it back up with another one. So we are going to see how that gives you that room right there to slide that in. If you hadn't cut that slit there, you would not be able to get your legal pad in on this side. And it gives you a perfect pocket on that side. Now how easy was that? And so cute, fits perfect by using just a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. It works out perfect every time. So now I brought this out of my paper. I'm really loving this side of it. I'm not too sure I don't want to use this side, but this side you could use it all year round and it wouldn't matter because it just looks like beautiful pink. I know they're supposed to be snowflakes, but we can call them stars. I do have a snowflake that I did earlier that doesn't match, it's the wrong color pink. This looks more like a polished pink, and this is definitely white and pink. I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece off of here, and I want a tiny bit of a border around it. So I know that this measures 5 inches. So I'm going to cut this at 4 3/4. So 4 3/4. Get that up in there against my edge really well and slice it. And then I know that this is 8 inches this way, so we're going to cut it at 7 3/4. So that'll give us that little bit of the border that we need. So 7 3/4. That way we'll have that little bit of white border around the outside of it, which I think will be perfect. Now if you want to, you can put this on with sticky tape, or you can glue it down. I'm going to glue mine down because I think I trust my glue enough to do that. So I'm going to, I don't know, I just love this too. Isn't that beautiful? You know what? That's okay. I'll make another one and use that. I might even make another one and maybe make it in the green or the solid pink. The what is that? Polished pink. We'll do it in the polished pink or either one of those beautiful greens, or even that pool party would be gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and run my glue around my edges. A lot of times when you're putting on a piece this big, don't be heavy-handed with your glue. You don't want to see your glue underneath your paper. So I'm going to come in about like that. Get that set down really where I want it, and then give it a good press. And I'm going to use my bone folder to really press that glue out so I don't see any lines. All right. Now I just need to decide what I want to put on it and what I want to put here. Now this is a great place to put some decorations. So if you wanted to, if you wanted to take the other piece that was left over and line this, what I would do is I would lay this down about like that. Might need a little bit wider piece there to go all the way over to here. Well, we could cut that off and then angle it down. What I would do is I would just kind of get it where I want it. Turn it over. Let's take this out so we don't have the weight. I'm going to look in there and see if I can make a little bit of a pencil line. Now you can't see what I'm doing because I can barely see what I'm doing. But I'm trying to make a pencil line on that piece of Designer Series paper, so I know exactly where I need to trim it. And I do. I see my pencil line right there. So now I know that I can go from here and then this piece should fit almost perfect. Let's see. Yeah, just about perfect if we come over there. Now we do need to trim it right up here. So what I like to do is just take a pencil mark. I'm out of the camera. Let's get back over here where y'all can see. Just make a little pencil mark like that, and then take that to your trimmer and just trim it out. Sometimes you don't need to measure everything. You can just do pencil marks and it will work just as good, sometimes even better. Now I'm coming over just a hair past that pencil mark so that I get that pencil mark off of there, and then you can see my pencil mark is on my paper, just barely. So now we can put this piece down on the inside, just like that. Well, let's go ahead and glue this down. This just gives you a little bit of a definition for your, that you have a pocket there. It also gives a little extra color to the inside. You also could use some stickers if you had stickers, or you could actually stamp and die cut something and bring it over on here and make a beautiful, and if you see that you've smeared any pencil marks, just take an eraser and erase those off. Just that simple. They come off really easy. A lot of times I don't even see my pencil marks after I make something. I usually try to make sure that I cut those away. I'm going to go off and I'm going to find a die that I want to use for my focal point on the front and a nice big sentiment, and we're going to come back and we're going to finish this off, put our piece back in it, and we're going to call this done. And if you're wondering what paper pack this paper came from, this is from the it is from the hostess gift for Celebrate Everything. And it is a huge pack of paper. It's 48 sheets, and I think you get 4 sheets of each design, and they're two-sided. So it is just absolutely a beautiful pack of paper that can carry you through the fall, the winter, even into New Year's. There's some New Year's paper in there. So it is a great pack to have in your stash. So if you don't have that, you might want to get it. You can actually get that for $18 if you have a order of over $300. So think about that if you're in the market to place a big order and you love that pack of paper. That'd be a great time. And you can use your stamping rewards toward the paper. So that's always a good thing. So let me go off and find a set that I want to use for the front of this, and we'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and I have decided what I want to do and how I want to work with this. And I went ahead and I grabbed, this is a new stamp set in our current catalog called Joyful Flurries. It also bundles with a set of dies called Frosted Flurries, and this is a really nice die set. You get your outlines, you also get some detail, and then you get these, and some of these don't cut out completely. They cut into the paper, and I'll show you what I'm talking about because we're going to do this one, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But let's prep our piece of paper. What I decided to do is I just want something to go across the front of this. So in order to do that, I cut a piece of white cardstock, and this is cut at 1 7/8 by 4 3/4. Yeah, 4 3/4. So what I want it to do is just sit right across here. But let's do a little stamping first. So I pulled out my polished pink ink. I'm going to zoom y'all in just a little bit, like that, so you can better see what we're doing. And I loaded some of the stamps up from this set called Joyful Flurries. I've got it's a season of magic and wonder, and I've got this little snow dots, and this is a great little background stamp to use. So if you're looking for a background stamp, that's a great one. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use that background stamp, and I just want to let me get a piece of scrap paper to go under it. And for that, sometimes I'll grab a piece of grid paper, but a lot of times I'll just reach over and grab a piece of copy paper because it's convenient. Y'all know how that is. All right, so I'm going to turn this, and I am going to start stamping, and I want them to look random. So I'm going to turn my paper as I go. And I want a little bit right there. And what you want is you just want the random dots all over this piece. And you want them to be on and off. They don't have to be uniformed. You want them to look scattered. Just like that. Maybe a little bit right there. Now that's all we're going to do to that piece. Now I'm just going to squish my stamp right there, get a little bit of that excess ink off, and let's move this out of the way. Now I'm going to bring in my die cut machine because that's the next thing that I really want to do. I want to die cut this little snowflake, and I am going to position this right about here because it's not going to cut it out. It's going to cut it where it's going to raise up. And I was talking with one of my customers yesterday, and we were talking about we don't always know how these dies are going to cut until we actually get them. And this is one of those examples. I wasn't really sure how this was going to cut until I actually got it in my hand and tried it. So I brought in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to put this down so it doesn't move. And let's go ahead and move this back over here. And I'm going to grab my plates. Let me zoom y'all out a little bit. There we go. So I've got my number 1 plate, my number 2 adapter plate, a cut plate, which is number 3, and another cut plate to go over top of that. just like that. And then I'm just going to run that through. And let's go ahead and get this out of our way because we're not going to need that again right now. In fact, I don't think we'll need this anymore at all. That was the only die cut I think I'm going to do on this particular one. I did pre-cut some little snowflakes, but let me show you what I'm talking about with this. And if I don't like this one, I've got another one already cut that I can use. So I thought we would try it this way and see what happens. Okay, I'll get my plates back out of the way. Now what you want to do is you want to lift up on your little pieces. See, and it's not cut all the way. Let's zoom back in. It's not cut out all the way. And you just lift up on those little pieces and look at all that beautiful dimension that you get. Isn't that gorgeous? Love that. So the next thing I want to do is I want to put my sentiment on here. And this is where I'm not sure if this is going to work, and if it doesn't, I have another one that I already did. I did this one, and I did my dots last, but I wanted to try it and see how it would work if I did it with the dots. Plus, I wanted to show y'all how to cut that. And let's go ahead and stamp this right about here. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And then I've got the smaller snowflake stamp. And I'm just going to go in, I need my paper again, because I'm going to do a little stamping on and off. So let's put a snowflake right about there, maybe one right here. Let's do one up there in that corner. And maybe there. And maybe one coming off right there. That looks really pretty. I love this. Alright, that's all of our snow. Oops, wouldn't want to drop that in my ink nail. So as you can see, here's one I did where I stamped the dots first. This one I did after. So I think I'm going to use this one, the one that we just did. I really like that. So I'm going to squish that off and do the same thing with this one. This just makes cleaning your stamps later a lot easier. So now let's bring our little notepad holder over. And I am just going to glue this flat down. I don't think we need to do anything special. We just need to glue it onto our piece. So I'm going to make sure I get glue right behind that little star and in between those the little pieces. And then I'm going to get glue all around my edges. And then I'm going to set this down just like that. I'm going to press it. You might even want to take your bone folder and just stick everything down. Just run your bone folder in between those little places, just to make sure it's getting a good adhesion. Then I like to take my bone folder and just do that and kind of press all that glue out. So now this one is ready. We just need a notepad holder, a notepad. And let's see, I think, well, to keep from getting up and grabbing another one, I have more, but they're over on the other side of my desk. So what we can do is just take one out of here and slide it in, like so. And I've got some little snowflakes over here. I cut like 4 of these smaller ones, and we're going to glue those inside here. So it's just going to look like snowflakes are falling from the sky. Something like that. You want to kind of do them. Maybe I need to cut one more, or I could ink this one. Let's just ink this one since I already got it cut. Let's pull this over here. It might be a little bit different color. I am going to grab my pink blending brush. And we're just gonna, and it won't hurt if this is a little bit different color. I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna ink this. I already had this one cut, so I figure why would I, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab my Take Your Pick tool just to have something to kind of hold that with while I'm doing the other side. That's pretty. Kind of soft and delicate, but very, very pretty. Okay, I'm just going to clean my brush, and we're ready to go ahead and put that one down. And this one's going to have just a tiny bit different look to it, but you know what? That's okay. Snowflakes don't look alike anyway. They're all different. So I'm going to put one here. I think I'm going to put that one right there, since it's, you know, you really can hardly tell the difference. It's a little bit lighter in spots, but you know what? That's the, I don't want to put too much down across here because I don't want to interfere with that that opening, that flap. So I'm going to just do this. I'm going to use my putty end of my Take Your Pick tool, and then I'm just going to come and sit that right into that glue, just like that. And I'm going to do that for each one of these little snowflakes. Makes it so easy. Love my Take Your Pick tool because this is a very, very versatile tool, and if you don't have one, you are missing out, because I use mine. There's hardly a time that I craft that I don't reach for this Take Your Pick tool. You got your little pokey tool on one end. These are all come out, and you got a spatula on that end. It also comes with two styluses of different size balls on it, and then it comes with this. You can also buy an adapter brush that goes on it for brushing out your dyes. So it's a very versatile tool to have. I can't craft without it. One of those videos where, you know, tools that you can't craft without, that would be probably my #1 on my list, along with my trimmer, because I can't cut a straight line for nothing. And I know some of you can relate. That's why we love our trimmer. Alright, so this one is done, and how pretty is that? So nice, so sturdy, so practical, and anybody would be thrilled to have one of these. Here's one, and then here's one, and I thought I had one more. What did I do with the other one? Maybe I didn't. I thought I did, but maybe not. Oh well. I'm going to go ahead and put a pad in this one. This one I haven't decorated yet. I haven't really fully decided. Now this was made with designer paper. This was not a Stampin' Up! Paper. I just grabbed a piece. I think this was the first one I made, and I was just trying to decide. This right here is an old DSP from Stampin' Up! But I found this in my stash and just decided to put that on there. And I thought it was super cute. So I got to get one for this as well. I thought I had a whole set of 3 of these, but maybe not. I thought I had another one I had made, but all right, maybe not. I did have another one because I made it out of the Blackberry Bliss. Okay. Well, I can't find it right now. I think I showed it at the beginning of the video, and I moved it. I put it over with my other stash of stuff. Anyway, this is the one we made, so this is the one we're going to center in on right now. I think it's gorgeous, and I'm going to be making a lot more of these for my craft fair, but I thought this might be a perfect time to bring this on for y'all to see and give you some ideas for some really quick Christmas gifts. And like I said, from a young girl to an older lady of my age bracket, to a young boy, to a older gentleman. This would be the perfect gift for anyone, because who doesn't need a notepad? We all need a notepad. So with that being said, I'm going to thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment. YouTube looks at all that, and they're called algorithm. I can't even say it. But anyway, they look at all of that, and then that just makes them decide, oh, people are liking what she's doing, so let's push her video out there so she can get more viewers. So that helps me grow my channel. So if you would, please like and share, and leave a comment. I love to hear from y'all. That's the only way I know that you watch my video, is if you leave me a comment. So comments are welcome, appreciated, and loved. So, and you'll always know I read your comment, even if I don't leave a personal message. If you see the little red heart, you'll know that I read your comment. So thanks again. As I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. So until we craft again, y'all take care, be good, be happy, and be blessed. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.